welcome to the Tech Mahindra Global Chess League. It's the last day of the group stages, and with the PBG Alaskan Knights already through to the final, it's the race to claim the second spot to fight for championship. And this is the action we've got lined up for you. We start the day with the Ganges Grandmasters taking on the upgrad Mumba Masters. Later, we've got American Gambits go head-to-head against the PBG Alaskan Knights. And the final match of the day, and this is the big one. It's the Triveni Continental Kings versus the Alpine SG Pipers for that second spot into Saturday's finals. Let's get straight to the action with the first match of the day. It's the Ganges Grandmasters taking on the Mumba Masters. And to safely guide you through all the genius moves, we've got James Canty and Sagar Shah.
Welcome, upgrade Mumba Masters and Ganges Grandmasters. From Mumba Masters led by icon Maxim Vashelagrov. Followed by superstar Vidit Gujarati. Another superstar Peter Swidler. Followed by superstar woman Konneru Hampi. Superstar woman Harika Dronawali. And the prodigy board Raunak Sadwani. Ganges Grandmasters led by icon Vishy Anand. Followed by superstars Arjun Erigaisi and Farham Maksodlu. Superstar women Vaishali Ramesh Babu and Nurgul Salimova. Prodigy board we have Boldar Muzdin.
Hello, Sagar. We are ready to go. Of course, there's still a lot on the line here, especially when it comes to the money and pride here. And of course, here we go. Moves are on the board: E4, E5, Knight, and F3. Classical stuff so far, Sagar.
Yeah, and Vishy Anand is looking for his first win in this tournament. And if he manages to finish on a high note, that would be quite a memorable thing for him. And it is the Italian game that we have on the board here, James.
Absolutely. In fact, they call this a quiet game, but you know, it's anything but quiet sometimes in these type of positions. It can go really slow or absolutely really fast and aggressive and tactical. But of course, nothing different here from what we usually see by developing pieces and actually trying to create some plans. Early bishop A7 here, tucking the bishop away from being attacked early from Anand.
Already heating up here, James. White has a big center. Black has more space on the queen side. But the big thing here, look at the clocks.
The clock once again is not on Vidit's side. This has been the story of the tournament for Vidit Khusravi. He's had problems on the clock, even in a winning position against Jan Krzysztof due to he was not able to convert that. He lost that game on time, basically. It was really rough to see when he was winning there. So this is really the story of the tournament. Playing great chess, but then the clock, which is sometimes we call the 17th piece, has been his problem this tournament.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the players need to have a very specialized mindset for this event. They cannot come in here and think that, okay, I'll play normally and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because there's no increment.
There's
and
no increment.
if you run down to a couple of minutes, the game is entirely different. It's no longer your advantage doesn't matter at all.
Absolutely. Of course, it's very important to understand that you do have to move faster. And you also have to play good moves, right?
Yeah.
It's not easier said than done, of course, in that sense. But, yeah, Vidit is definitely down on time here. He's down on time. He's having some issues there, but his position is great.
Yeah.
You know, have double, I mean, not double, I have two pawns in the center. Very nice. A big center here. We have the C file, which our rook is already on. And even the win probability is in our favor, too, as well. But the practical sense is that White feels very comfortable here, but we do need to be careful of pushing these pawns in the center because if not, we could get in trouble. We can also see that one of them could be very weak.
Yes, absolutely. Black has this beautiful bishop eyeing down this diagonal. So Arjun is trying to figure out what is the way in which he can put some pressure on Vidit here. And he goes, oh, he does the en passant trick there. Takes the pawn, takes it, and then brings his rook right into the center of the board.
Some tension on the c-file.
So this one looking pretty good, and even right now, maybe it's very slightly better for Vidit. Bit of development here, but overall a calm position. James, just think about it. Vaishali grew up and was always looking at Humpy as the #1 player in the country, and she still is.
Yes.
But now she's so close to her, and in this tournament, she hasn't played well at all. She has had 6 losses and 3 draws.
Wow.
It's not going to be easy for her to kind of have that psychologically trying to push here in this game.
Yeah, it's very difficult, especially when you have the consecutive losses. But also, I mean, you know, we did see Vaishali actually play in the candidates, in the women's candidates. She actually lost maybe 4 in a row, but then won 5 in a row.
Yes.
So it's possible, very possible for her to break through it as she's done it before. But of course, in the faster time controls, the team aspect, and like, you know, just being down on yourself, it's a lot to it, and it definitely is a lot emotionally and mentally. But what you have to do, and lots of times that you see these players do and very good at, is, you know, remembering, hey, there's another game. Let's try to play my best in this game, and that's what she's going to try to do here, especially playing one of her idols as she's, you know, being young, and Humpy being around, and her looking up to Humpy. As they say, the idols become your rivals, right, at some point. So Vaishali is looking to score here. She's also up time.
And there we see James Anand has jumped with his knight, and he's attacking this pawn.
Whoa!
But MVL says, I don't
Take
care.
it.
I'm pushing forward.
Go ahead. You can have it. I have one, and you're going to have one as well. Wow, he's just trying to break open this entire thing. This is going to get quite tactical here. Some calculation is involved.
Yeah, this pawn is hanging, and if you look, even this pawn can be taken once, twice, and thrice, but it's only defended twice. So, in fact, 2 pawns that can be won here. Vishy takes the pawn on c5, and MVL now deciding he also takes it back.
Wow, that is awesome.
And then we'll wait
Takes
for
eggs.
the next move for Vishy. He again takes it.
So now the question is, where, like, okay, cool, you got your pawns, you pushed your pawn there. What are we going to do next is the question. E4 is hanging.
Yes, this pawn here is hanging for the time being, and MVL can say to himself that, hey, I've done my job. I've broken up the structure here. All of these black pawns are weak. I can now go back and defend my pawn, or there can be some other way he'll continue, but it's something which is not so obvious how to continue. So he's thinking, and he's gone below Vishy Anand's time on the clock.
Oh, he has, just by a little bit there. They are closer on time, but Anand has a small lead on the clock. It is possible to create some problems here as E4, the pawn on E4 is hanging. We still have the aspirations of pushing maybe pawn F5 as well, but the question is on white. What do we do?
This is actually quite an intense matchup, and we haven't seen such a closely contested match. Like, one of the boards generally would get an advantage, James,
Right,
but here
at some
there's
point.
none.
There's nothing,
Yeah.
In fact, we're going to need some more time to be taken off the clock for everyone, and that's when the blunders generally happen, which is why it makes this time format so compelling and, of course, difficult for players, because as soon as that time gets low, it becomes a different game.
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes this Global Chess League very exciting, because even in simple positions, because you have no increment, you're down to a minute, you tend to make errors here.
Absolutely. In fact, of course, as the time gets lower, the odds of making a mistake become quite high very quickly, because, you know, you can lose on time. We've seen it already. In fact, even in many games, in fact, have been decided by the clock here. And in Vidit's case, lots of his games have been decided and also squandered squandered wins that he had before, and also games that he should not lose or draw were due to the clock. So he's trying to keep that under control here. Arjun has a small lead on the clock right now.
So right now, we see that Vaishali is the one who's thinking, and she can trade a rook on the open file. Then that would just help white to get another rook in.
It would actually, of course. They say you don't want to. They say to take is a mistake. Now, of course, that is, not all the time. If you're going to get a free queen or some free pieces, then you should definitely capture it. But before capturing, you should always be asking, is it better for me or is it better for them? And after rook takes d1, that is going to help white bring a rook to the file, attacking the queen and also taking over the file, which could give us a slight initiative, which is time and activity.
Absolutely. So here we can see that Humpy is very slightly better. As James explained, these two black pawns could become potentially weak, and we have some movement on board too. Vidit Gujarati has just now gotten a nice position there. If you see James.
Oh, looking better here. I mean, he does have the two pawns in the center. What he's saying is, I'm going to use them at the right moment and push one. Is he up anything? 3-6? Looks like he's up one pawn there.
No, I think it's...
Three.
Oh, he's up a pawn.
He grabbed a pawn somewhere. Where did that happen?
Yeah, he was up a pawn since quite some time. And now, after this, pieces got traded. And this is actually good news for Vidit, because he's trading off pieces. And he's saying that, okay, if we reach an endgame, I'm just better. I'm a pawn up.
I am a pawn up, but I'm also down on time, in fact. So probably about equal, actually. I'm down a pawn, or up a pawn, but down on time. So probably equal, practically speaking, especially from a psychology point, mentally for Vidit. Maybe we grab a pawn. Wait, rook b4.
Yeah, exactly. He attacks here and the pawn. Should we take it with the queen? But if we take it with the queen, there's already bishop takes pawn here.
Bishop takes f2, very sharp. So he takes with the rook instead, which attacks the queen, and Arjun moving instantly here, trying to keep the pressure on Vidit's clock here. Vidit is getting dangerously low on time. 2 minutes is not a lot of time, where we are just under 3 minutes here. So trying to keep the clock on Vidit is Arjun's idea here, up about almost 4 minutes sometime.
Yes, he's doing well on time here, and Vidit is doing pretty well on the board. But at the end, he will have to speed up. He cannot really play at this speed. He will lead into some big trouble there.
Absolutely, of course, understanding that there is no increment. The time you have is the time you have. So you have to move quick and be as quick as you can here. I like this move, queen to b5, kind of restricting white's pieces, saying, where do you go without you hanging a pawn? And he says, rook to c4. A3 is hanging. Will he take it? And he does.
Oh, he does take it, and I believe that if...
Oh, and a draw. A draw offer. Nice.
Draw there. With it, very quick to say, okay, I'm not better here. Arjun also agreed to the same thing. They have drawn the game, which means the first result is out. Yes, right now you can see that Vishy Anand has successfully defended his position, although he's a pawn down right now. He's going to lose his a pawn. This is an easy theoretical draw for Vishy.
Absolutely, just an easy draw. There's very difficult to create chances with the rook pawn. It is possible, but not very likely. Of course, this one's most likely to be a draw.
Yeah, this one heading towards a draw here. She pushes up. And look at this, both players down to their last few seconds.
Oh, man.
6
Anything can happen. Oh, it's going to happen. She's not fast enough. Who's going to flag? Sagar. What's going to happen?
I think it's Humpy who might just lose
Oh,
on
my
time.
goodness.
Oh, the pawn falls down.
Flag. It's a flag. She lost on time.
Wow, Humpy lost there, and Vaishali with
goodness.
1 second.
Wow. It doesn't matter how you get it. It matters if you got it done.
Here, and let's look at the final moments of this one. The position was better for Maqsoodlu. He's pawn up, but Peter Swindler lost on time.
the boat player of the match is Vaishali. She just celebrated her first victory at Global Chess League Season 2. And today with us we have a very special guest, Dinara Wagner, woman grandmaster from Germany and ambassador of Global Chess League. Dinara, you might... Yeah, thank you. Very nice game. Vaishali, how do you feel to win the first game?
Yeah, I mean, I played some good games, but I could not win. Today I played so poorly, and I don't know, I get the player of the match. This is my first win, and I don't know what to say. I mean, I was pieced down, and I was just playing for time, and I had 1 second, and she got flagged, and yeah, and again, I did this.
You say she got flagged, but let's say you flagged her, okay? What was your technique? Is there any advice that you would give rest of us to flag the opponent?
I'm not the right one to ask. I really struggled with time in this tournament, and I'm actually happy that the tournament is over. I really suffered a lot, and yeah, I'm happy to get this one.
You said that you actually prefer to play with your brother Prague in the same team. So how was that feeling to have your sibling in the opponent's team?
Yeah, we are used to play in the same team, and this is the first time I think we're playing for the opposite team. So yeah, it's different, but yeah.
Please help me to welcome American Gambits and PBG Alaska Knights. American Gambits led by icon Hikaru Nakamura. Led by superstar young Christoph Duda. Another superstar in the team, Yu Yangi. Superstar woman, Bibi Sara Survivor. Superstar woman, Elizabeth Patz. Prodigy, Jonas Berger. PBG Alaska Knights led by icon Anish Giri. Superstar Nodirbek Abdi Saturov. Superstar Shahriar Mamediarov. Superstar woman Tan Zhongi and Alina Kashlinskaya. And prodigy Nihal Sarin.
Welcome everyone to this matchup between the PBG Alaskan Knights and American Gambits. And on our screens we have Anish Giri and Hikaru Nakamura, and joining me is the 3-time British champion, Grandmaster David Howell.
Well, it's nice to be here, Saga. We see another clash between two giants of the game. Hikaru opening with the move 1, pawn to b3. But yeah, this will be the last time we see Hikaru Nakamura in Season 2 of the Global Chess League. We will see Anish Giri back, however, tomorrow.
Yes, and look at Anish smiling there. Maybe he's... I don't know what is making him smile so much.
Some chess humor, who knows? Anish Giri, he's a very charismatic guy, a very humorous guy, and something has caught his attention. Oh, back to game face though, back looking serious as he decides on his next opening move.
Elizabeth Pates versus Alina Kashlinskaya. Both of them have had a pretty good tournament. In fact, Elizabeth has been the highest scoring member in her team along with Hikaru, and Alina also has 17 points there.
Yeah, two of the most high-scoring women players so far in this event. A lot of pride on the line here. And we saw pretty much absolute symmetry until this last couple of turns. Now White's queen has come out, the black light-squared bishop departing from its home square means that the white queen is attacking a pawn down that B line.
Yes.
And not easy to defend.
And David, if black plays this move, essentially we reach this position where black has become white, because black has an extra move, which the bishop has been played here.
This is crazy. This round, the openings, they're all surprising in their own little way. Rare openings chosen, provocative openings chosen here. White trying to play as black,
Right.
arguing that maybe having an extra move isn't such a big deal, but symmetry, copycat chess, it's not normally a great strategy. And open up a white rook against the black queen, and okay, he's keeping the game alive.
He does that. And so now the rook opens up here. And as you said, David, momentum is the key. Imagine if today Anish loses this game, then for tomorrow's finals, it's already not a very pleasant feeling. While a solid draw with black can put you in great spirits.
That's right. He'll be full of confidence, Anish Giri, no matter who he faces tomorrow, if he can get a result from this game. And yeah, this one is not too lively right now. Hikaru, though, showing his ambition with this last move, showing he really wants to win, and we'll come back to this a bit later.
Yes, right now the best move in the position is to move your knight away, and once that happens, your knight is looking at these wonderful squares, and I believe Nihal Sarin will play that. Look at him, he's playing this, and after the knight moves, he simply supports his pawn, expanding on the king side.
Oh, I really don't like white's pieces in the bottom left corner there, just fast asleep at home. Especially the knights, they get in each other's way. The white knight on the bottom rank there cannot move simply, and yeah, black's plan is quite simple. Black is actually going to castle, I think, on that queen side and start throwing those pawns even further towards the white king.
Right, and Nihal Sarin has had a very nice tournament until round 7, and then he lost 2 games. But now with this game, if he manages to win, he would be in the perfect mindset for the finals. So for him, it's a very important game here.
He's lost so much time.
He doesn't have anything developed. Look at this. The bishops are at home, the rooks, the queen, everything is back on the last rank.
And he's pushing pawns in front of his own king. He doesn't care about shelter. He's asking to open up his own king. He's asking to be checkmated. But sometimes this is a psychological idea. You just provoke the opponent, show them you're playing these strange moves, and in their quest to try and punish you, they burn a lot of time on the clock.
Right, and I think Yu Yangi is right now thinking whether he should just retreat the bishop back, or should he push the pawn forward and take the fight to his opponent.
Ooh, accelerate the play. That's usually a great idea, especially if your opponent isn't fully developed with their pieces, especially if they have a weak king. I love that pawn move, counter-attacking against the black knight. But either way, promising for Yu Yangi. Mamadjarov, a fiery player, known for his crazy tactics, but he's really playing with fire here. Yeah, the knight springs forward, and this knight jump does threaten a few things. There's a loose pawn in the center that white has to watch out for right now. We might see a trade of knights, but be careful. Do not trade on black's terms here. The capture of that black knight has to be by the white bishop. There we go. And after this bishop is recaptured, the white queen is going to have to run back. Oh, I don't know. I just can't see a draw here, Saga. It just looks like it's too imbalanced. It looks like both sides trying to be ambitious.
Yes, and I think this is going to be a very fun game. I remember that when I was at the World Rapid and Blitz Championships in Kazakhstan in 2022, BP Sara won the World Blitz and Tan Zhongyi won the World Rapid. So, you know, they both became world champions in that week. And clearly they are two of the topmost players in the world when it comes to speed chess.
Yeah, they both have just such a fantastic feel for where the pieces belong. They both sense with their tactical vision, the momentum flow, and that pawn did recapture a bishop, kicking the white queen back. But yeah, it's just about who plays more actively and more energetically over the next few moves, it seems.
Absolutely, their king moves backwards, and Hikaru, what if he just brings the knight in and attacks this pawn?
Ooh, I think black will trade off knights maybe, and this is hard to evaluate, but the black pass pawn that I mentioned will run through, and white, meanwhile, on the other side of the board, unable to get the pawns rolling.
But look at this, it's gotten sharp, David. He's pushed his pawn, and Hikaru now has a passed pawn. It's running down the board. Anish brings his knight. The king moves forward. Is this an attempt to kind of create some problems for black?
Yeah, he's really asking questions of Anish Giri. It's a pawn sacrifice. White only has 2 left now. But knights are notoriously bad at stopping these corner pawns. These rooks pawns, as we call them, starting on these on the edge of the board, because the knight can only defend from one side. And yeah, knights hate to be tied down, these short-range pieces, often running out of squares if they can be attacked by fellow knights, or if the white king were ever able to make a dart towards the right flank here. But ultimately, the kings cancelling each other out. It feels like neither side can really make any progress.
Yeah, this one was just an attempt by Hikaru, but Anish is very solid. He knows that his position is defendable. His knight is doing the job of stopping the pawn. The black king is making sure that the white king does not run over here and try something. So it looks still like a very solid draw.
Yeah, I think what we'll see play out now is the white knight waiting, back and forth, blocking black's pawn. The black knight playing copycat, defending, waiting against the white pawn, and I think we'll see a friendly kind of meeting of the eyes as they both acknowledge that this game is fizzling out now. Queen's got traded. Surprising decision, Yu Yangyi there, because the black king was so weak, so open. Normally they say, if you have the safer king, keep queens on, go for the attack. But he is 2 pawns up, so I do understand why he wanted to try and simplify the equation. Simple maths. 2 extra pawns means you're much likelier to win this game. So he's removed the risk, but also maybe increased Mamajarov's chances of drawing.
Yes, but now it's like a two result game. Either it's a draw or white will win this. But Shakhriyar Mamedyarov is a very tricky defender. He's trying to get his king into the white camp.
Yeah, really beautiful move there from Mamajarov on this last turn. Clear path, walking in with the king. 1 or 2 more moves, and that black king is going to be feasting on an army of pawns. In the meantime, white trying to bank all of his chances on his own passed pawn. That future queen, maybe. White will bring his bishop in, push that pawn forward, and try to break the black blockade on the light squares. I still think he's going to win, Yu Yangyi, but if he doesn't, that queen trade will be the moment he regrets.
Board of the icons, you can see Hikaru just knowing that there's not much to play for, and they agree to a draw. A very good result there for Anish Giri. Before the finals, I think he'll be very happy.
He will be very happy. He's just neutralized one of the most dangerous players in the world with the black pieces too. Anish, we'll see him tomorrow.
Yes, and now moving on to the board number 4, where Bibisara seems to have somehow managed to enter black's camp, and the king is right in the center of the board. Look at that. This is looking really dangerous for black.
It is. That king is on a journey. It's not going to seek safety in the center for too long. It will aim to flee, to run towards the other side of the board. But whoa, offering a trade of queens, that's again counterintuitive.
Yeah, what's happening here with the American Gambits team? Everyone who's having a great attacking position are trading queens here.
Yeah, it's conventional chess wisdom. Weak king, go for the attack, keep the queens on the board, and not taking advantage of her opportunity to attack there, Bibisara. Yeah, it feels like she wants to maintain a decent position, contain the risk. But bishops come to life the longer the game goes on. I worry that the black bishops will later overpower those white knights. Oh, poor Jonas, just coming to terms with his last few moves here in the Global Chess League Season 2. I think we'll see him offer his hand in resignation any moment now.
Yeah, he brings his rook to block the check, and Nihal is ready with his pawn push. Yeah, this is over. This is done and dusted. Nihal would be quite pleased with his game today, David. I think he's come back into form and is looking again as a big strength for the PBG Alaskan Knights.
Yeah, fantastic game, Nihal Sarin. We've been singing his praises a long time. And remember, that's the sign of a champion, bouncing back from defeat. And Nihal Sarin takes the win.
And Jonas was like, I've had enough here, and he resigns. Today we did notice Nihal going on a walk with his icon player, Anish Giri, and maybe that has helped him quite a bit. This is game over here with a check. The pawn is falling down. She takes it with the rook, and she's calculated it all. There's no checkmate in sight, and she resigns. Bibisara ends her campaign at the Global Chess League with a victory, and a good result for her.
Great result for her, and for the Gambits, that's a lifeline that they really, really need. They need a lot of luck to save this match.
And somehow Mamedyarov has magically got a winning position once again, and I think it was all because of the time. Yu Yangi had no time to think.
Yeah, this endgame is all about calculation. It's a pawn race. Both sides pushing to try and make new queens. Mistake maybe by Mamedyarov, the evaluation bar jumping up and down. It's not about perfect chess though, it's about that clock. Only a few seconds left.
7 seconds left for Yu Yangi. He needs to move. Move it. 3 seconds. And he resigns. Wow, this was a heartbreaking loss for Yu Yangi. He dominated right from the opening, but then Mamedyarov somehow tricked him and beat him.
And that leaves us with just one game remaining. It's a time scramble on our women's board. Elizabeth Pate here with the white pieces. Looks like a very difficult endgame. Another case of one of the black pawns running through to make a new queen. Kashlinskaya, she attacks that white rook, and
another victory for the PBG Alaskan Knights.
The boat player of the match is Alena Kashlinskaya, and today with us we have a very special guest, Badana Sivanandan. She is the youngest player at the Chess Olympiad who played for UK, and she's only 9 years old. She will give an award to Alena. A big applause for Badana, and here we have this gift for you, Alena. You can take it. Yeah, thank you so much. Alena, that was a crazy game. Can you please describe to our viewers what happened?
Wow. Well, first of all, I have to say that I was very motivated for this game because I was the only player in our team who didn't get this award yet. Yeah, actually, I don't know what was going on. I thought that the game was around equal, and then I got past pawns, so I felt that I'm pressing. And in the end, in time trouble, I think that it's just easier to play for black, and objectively, I should be fine. So.
Alena, we do have now a very important match coming up, Triveni against SG Pipers. Do you have any personal preference who, out of these two teams, you want to qualify to the finals to face you?
Well, I think it doesn't matter for our team unless we win the finals.
Triveni Continental Kings, led by icon Ali Reza Firouzja. Followed by superstars Yu Yang Wavy and Timur Rajabov. Superstar women Alexandra Kostyuk and Valentina Gunina. And the prodigy Sindorov Javohir. Alpine SG Pipers, led by icon Magnus Carlsen. Superstar Pragnananda. Another superstar, Richard Rapport. Superstar women, Ho Yufan and Katerina Lagno. And the prodigy, Daniel Darda.
Thank you so much, Tanya. I couldn't be more excited for this one. We have Alireza Firouzja on your screen. Magnus Carlsen, the FIDE president, Arkady Dvorkovich, is going to make the first move. And joining me for all the action here is my co-commentator, the 9-time British champion, Jovanka Hauska.
Thank you, Sagasha. And I must say, I'm incredibly excited to commentate this match. And there we see Arkady playing the king's pawn, 2 squares forward. Is Ali Reza going to keep it? No, he takes it back.
He's like today is not the day for King's Pawn to move ahead. Let's see what he plays. He goes for the King's Pawn.
He goes for the King's Pawn.
He goes for the same
He
move.
just wanted to make the move first, and there we do see Magnus employ a Sicilian defense. This is combative stuff. You know, we were discussing before this game started, would Magnus play it solid? Would he go on the aggressive? And the answer is already there on the table. We can see he decided to play a very fighting opening. There's an imbalanced pawn structure there, and what we're going to see from Magnus is just to slowly develop the pieces, or just withstand the white initiative in the beginning, and then just go forward. Yeah, we did see Wei Yi make a small inaccuracy in the opening. He allowed black to get a massive pawn center, and well, black is still looking pretty with the pawns in the middle because they're standing on some far advanced posts, and this is usually an indicator that you want to just attack on the right side of the board with your pieces. And for Wei Yi, yeah, he just has to react to whatever black is doing, and that's never very good when you're playing white.
Right, and I mean Pragnananda next wants to pick up this pawn. He wants to get his knight out. Bishop coming in. I think the first two boards of this match are looking pretty good for the Alpine SG Pipers, with Magnus having a good position and also Prag.
What is this?
It's like Temur was saying, Jovanka, here's the answer to your question.
Let me live with the king right there in the center. This is such a gutsy idea from Timur. I mean, he's got everything he wants except that he has a bad king. Because, I mean, you do not want to play chess with your king right there in the middle of the board, waving itself around. No, no, no. It's a target there. But if you take a look at the position, black's king isn't mobilized. I mean, the rooks are not connected. In fact, it's actually very difficult to utilize the rook sitting there on A8 and the knight there on B8 on account of this, I don't want to curse, but, you know, this pawn that is all alone on C6.
Yes, and I think Temur Rajabov has assessed the risks of this king movement very carefully. His position looks amazing. He'll just bring the rook out, tuck his king in, and I am seeing this to be a very, very positive position for the Triveni Continental Kings. But now, Ho Yifan is maybe slightly pressing here in this position after the trade of the bishops. Maybe her knight could become better than the bishop here.
Absolutely, and I love this last move there from Ho Yifan. She understands that her opponent has two bishops. Remember, a bishop pair is better than a lone bishop, so she tries to neutralize the advantage immediately. And if you look at the long-term prospects, again, this is something that you're going to see me refer to again and again. Take a look at the black pawn structure. Now, black has an amazing pawn in the middle of the board. It's called a protected pass pawn. It is unopposed. It is defended by a fellow sibling. And this is something that Ho Yifan can use in the long term. It's something that she can just say, hey, how about we make some trades? And you think about that lovely pawn that I have sitting there in the middle of the board.
Right, so well explained there, Jovanka. Kostenyuk just saying that, okay, maybe I can plonk my bishop into this good square, but for now, this position looking very interesting. It is, in my opinion, very slightly better for black, and that is also shown in the win probability there, 53% for black.
Yeah, and look at Ho Yifan's last move. She slides it one square to the right, and she's eyeing up some light squares around the king. But yeah,
Actually, and I think Magnus did worry about that, which is the reason why he has actually gone for the move.
he's pushed
right
the pawn.
in the center, but that one is not particularly liked by the engine. But I think it's a great move, Jovanka. Pushing the knight away. Next move, you push your pawn down the board.
Yeah, I think it's a great move. And the question for Ali Reza is, does he sound a retreat with the knight, or does he go forward and try to unbalance the position? Decisions, and when you have almost a minute disadvantage on the clock, it's really going to start to tell. I would go forward. Yeah, that is huge. 70% for Magnus.
Yeah, you can go front. Then you have to calculate the bishop taking. Right now, Alireza has many questions to ask. And you know what, Yuanka? You and Alireza seem to think a bit alike. He's playing all the moves you're suggesting.
Except they've all been avoided with X's, Saga. So I don't know. But it does actually indicate that these are natural positions. And if it's the case that the natural moves are wrong, then this is actually a great sign for Magnus here. And the knight is jumping in. Again, decision time for Alireza. Does he let that knight stay resident on that square? Can he get greedy and capture a pawn? Is terrible things happening?
Yeah. You mean to win this pawn?
Yes,
here?
that pawn.
Ooh, you can try and win that. In fact, Magnus seems to have assessed that this position would be really good for him with one knight here, the other knight jumping in, and it's just like he's just able to understand the dynamics so well.
Yeah, nightmare unleashed there if that happens. Yeah, then maybe the best move is just to simply get rid of that knight. But again,
it opens up the rook down the e-file.
And opens up the dark squares. And where are the vulnerabilities on the dark squares for the king? I think Alireza is definitely struggling here.
Look at this. This bishop.
It's it's not nice. We're not saying that this is a beautiful position, but is there a killer blow here?
Yeah, and then you push the pawn forward, and this is a big attack that is brewing up, and this is what Pragnananda has to calculate, assess, and he plays it. He takes the knight and he swings the queen over. Pragnananda in top-notch form.
Yeah, he's in demolition mode here. And these moves are very natural. What happens next? The sacrifice, that involves some calculation. And you know who is excellent at calculation? Pragnananda. And you know who's bold and unafraid of sacrificing pieces? Pragnananda.
Yeah, and look at that 92%. Instead of giving a check, he takes the bishop. But even this is very powerful, Jovanka.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful because now the rook was going to swoop in to the second line. And look at that. You know, every rook dreams of living on the second line.
Look at that. The rook defended by the queen. And notice how this pawn was actually stopping the connection of the queen and rook, and Prag is looking at the entire board. He's looking here, he's looking here, he's playing phenomenally.
He certainly is. Okay, the rook comes in, attacks the queen, Wei Yi fighting hard. He has to fight with every ounce that he has just to even have a chance of surviving, because if Pragnananda plays perfectly, Wei Yi's lost.
Right, and right now Prag is better. He's thinking where to move the queen. Temur Rajabov and Richard Rapport have drawn their game, and maybe it's a good result for both sides because Rajabov was clearly better and he should have converted that. Meanwhile, Richard Rapport was in great form, and perhaps for Rajabov, no, Magnus is taking unusually a lot of time right now. He had 6.5 minutes, now down to 4.5 minutes. His last move, he hasn't played since 2 minutes. So clearly some nerves kicking in there.
Yeah, he's just making sure that everything is going to be perfectly aligned. You can afford to take some time in this particular position as to, you know, do you kind of move the rook over and just try to support your pawns? Do you drop back with your bishop? Do you drop back with your queen and then try to get the job done? I mean, the thing is, there's just no way for Alireza, unfortunately, to drum up any form of counterplay because Black's pawns in the middle are so dangerous.
Right, and Magnus plays this calm move, which was actually the best move in the position, retaining all the threats, keeping the queen centralized. And Alireza now has 2 minutes, 22 seconds. Magnus has 3 minutes, 41 seconds. And Magnus pauses a bit. Both sides about to queen here, but they are stopped. And meanwhile, Magnus has 2 extra pawns.
It's got an over a minute lead as well. And there you see Ali Reza.
Oh, look at him. He's so quick. He's so quick.
He's gonna be as quick as he can.
No, I think Ali Reza might just save this. He has 10 seconds. 1 minute 7 seconds for Magnus. I can't believe the speed and accuracy with which Ali Reza is playing here.
He's playing unbelievable chess with no time on the clock. But still, it is no time. It's only 10 seconds. But now Magnus Carlsen down to 54 seconds.
Ali Reza taking 1 second per move. Magnus using nearly 5 to 7 seconds per move. Insane. This is just brilliant chess by Ali Reza. Magnus getting worried. He takes the pawn. Queen comes back. And is this going to end in a draw?
No, it's not going to end in a draw because Magnus will try to win this game on the clock. You have to be ruthless in this time control.
Look at Ali Reza. I can't believe the board vision he has. He's just quickly moving in and moves the queen. Magnus not able to find the win. He's down to 20 seconds.
Is he repeating?
Oh, it's no.
No. Okay, the king.
Oh, it's Ali Reza winning.
Oh my God.
Check. It's not winning.
He's got 3 seconds on the clock.
And meanwhile, I think Magnus going to win on time.
He's going to win on time, but what's happened?
And Ali Reza loses on time. Magnus Carlsen gets the win, but what a fight on the icon board. Really, hats off to both these champions. Brilliant play there by them. But the point goes to Alpine SG Pipers.
A check happens. Okay, but now the White King is being invited in to attack the bishop. Oh, and
Look
the
at the
frustration, the nerves.
He can't make a move there. The king moves in, and now finally, I think it's queening time. Just push the pawn, and it's a queen. No, careful. There's a check. Bring the rook. Yeah, he brings the rook in. And Sindarov has been
And now the bishop
phenomenal.
attacks.
Okay, you have an extra rook now, and Sindarov has 37 seconds. He can do this. He thinks for a bit, and now slowly he has to convert this into a win. He also is feeling a bit of nerves. Takes the pawn. King coming in.
Yeah, he puts his rook on dark squares, and now
The Triveni Continental Kings are doing this. They are doing it. 20 seconds for Sindarov. He is making these moves at the speed of lightning. I don't see this ending in a draw in any way.
and look how these moves are coming. They're so fast and furious, but
yeah, he's
3 seconds.
almost mated him, and Daniel resigns there. The Triveni Continental Kings are through to the finals. What a finale there. And Magnus Carlsen, you can see his face. He did it for his team, but his team couldn't deliver. The Alpine SG Pipers are eliminated.
The board player of the match is, of course, Sindarov of Triveni. And we have a special guest who will award the gift. And this is Grandmaster Andrew Hung. Wow, there was a lot of nerves. And we just followed you with camera. And you entered in the players' lounge. And you told something to your teammates. What was the conversation there?
Yeah, I tell them I just won the game. Yeah. So then they were so happy, and also I'm very happy to reach final. It will be my second final in global chess. So hope tomorrow we will see the good match.
Talking about second finals, we remember the season 1. There was a decider. Do you still have flashbacks of that day?
Yes, in that day I was won 4 games against Jonas. The last game. I was still very good. Then it was completely draw position, and in a draw position I will start to play for win to find some tricky moves. Then I didn't see mate in one move, so I got mate in one move, but it's okay. Yeah, Jonas is not lucky in the tournament, and he was so lucky in the last round. So I think it needed to happen this. Okay. But tomorrow we will see how not like this much.
And here are the standings after a nail-biting final match. It is the Triveni Continental Kings who grabbed the second place just ahead of the Alpine SG Pipers. We have a fantastic final to look forward to. It's the PBG Alaska Knights taking on the defending champions, Triveni Continental Kings. Join us tomorrow to find out who will be crowned the champion of the Tech Mahindra Global Chess League 2024.